Okay, so I am on a search for Hoon developers. That's right, Urbit developers who are looking to advance their career in the Urbit ecosystem. And here's why. So, as many of you know, I'm a writer, creator, whatever. I run a little small business around my operations, but I have one of the fastest growing Urbit groups, and I'm also one of the only professional creators who is seriously going all in on Urbit right now. And I'm early, so I need people to help me build things, basically. And I know that there are a lot of Hooners out there who are not currently involved with a particularly important project, people who want to get paid more to do important work and who want to build cool, valuable applications on Urbit. And I'm looking for people like that who are currently underutilized or have more capacity to work on more projects, bigger projects, cooler projects. And I have some really simple ideas for very useful applications that I want to use personally and that I know my members and my people would want to use as well. So I'm so bullish on Urbit that I'm willing to use my own money to essentially commission some applications. I'm going to give my own bounties or grants to try to get some stuff built. Because look, the Urbit Foundation is great. They've funded a lot of important work, but we need more people in Urbit to get their own skin in the game and take matters into their own hands to support each other, fund each other, and just get more stuff going. The Urbit grants and the bounties and all of that those are great, but that's never going to be able to fully exhaust all developer potential. So I think that creators and entrepreneurs who really understand Urbit's tremendous potential, like I think I do, will find it in their own interest to, put their own skin in the game and do this kind of thing. So I'm officially doing my first experiment with this. So now I'd like to explain to you the specific app idea that I want to see built as soon as possible and that I'm going to pay someone to build. Now, anyone who's watching this video is welcome to apply. All right. But before I get into the details, I want to just start with a warning. All right. Because I'm going to need you to move fast. I'm going to need you to work hard. I'm going to pay you fairly, but I'm going to crack the whip. All right. If your app is garbage and it does not meet the parameters, then you're not going to get paid. And if your app does meet the parameters and you deliver it on time, you're going to get paid fairly and immediately, but you're also going to become famous on the Urbit network. Because let's be honest, I am Urbit's biggest influencer. Okay? If you've ever seen Donald Trump's old show, The Apprentice, well, that's what we're doing here. All right? But we're doing it for Urbit. If you complete my challenge and you want to work full time on Urbit, I'm pretty confident I can make that happen for you. All right. If you complete my challenge and you want to raise money to start your own startup, I'm pretty sure that I could help make that happen. I can't guarantee anything here, but I'm pretty sure that I can make these things happen. Or if you just want to work as a full-time software engineer working for an Urbit company, I'm pretty sure I could get you in the door at one of the awesome startups that are appearing on the network now, because I know everyone in the network now. And so, all right, with that out of the way, let me lay out the parameters that I see for this first project. And by the way, I've scoped this with the excellent and experienced Urbit dev Bockwell Samweg here in Austin. All right, he's helped me scoped out. He scoped this out with me, so I can be confident that the parameters are doable and reasonable. All right, so here's the deal. Here's the challenge. I want someone to build me an Urbit app that will allow any user to simply upload an HTML page and have that HTML page served as some kind of web page, like rendered correctly, like you would in a browser. And there are some options about how you're going to do that. I'll leave a little bit of creativity and discretion up to the developer, but it just needs to be rendered as a web page with a link that can be shared to other people. That's it. It's simple. You would think that this might already exist on Urbit. Because these are personal servers, there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to serve some kind of web page with a simple, customizable HTML input. But that doesn't exist yet. So there's the Studio app, which is really pretty flashy. It lets you publish a whole blog from an Urbit notebook. But I'm talking about something simpler than that. All right, I'm talking about being able to just upload HTML or input HTML and then have that HTML rendered. All right, and so there are probably two different approaches you could take. One, which I would be happy with. One would be you have that exposed to the clear web. So it's like an HTTP link that you can see this rendered HTML page on. You could give that link around to anyone on the clear web. Or another approach, which Bockwell is interested in, is maybe doing it as a kind of internal Urbit web page. So you would share a link to Urbit page, to a page that's only accessible from within the network. I'm willing to let the developer decide which one you want to do, depending on your skills and what you think is most interesting. All right. So that's it. That's the parameter. That's the basic parameter. Okay. And I'll put in writing a couple more specific technical things from my technical consultants, but that's basically what I want to see built. And so here's how this challenge is going to work. It's going to be the fastest and easiest process ever. All right. If you want to apply, all you have to do to start is just DM me on Urbit. All right. My username is HatrixLastStud. I'll put that in the show notes. And just give me 1 or 2 sentences about why you are the person for this job. All right. And from there, I'll look at the DMs that I get and I will select a few to jump on a Zoom call with me privately. All right. And then basically, I'll just make a judgment. Whoever seems the most promising will be given this gig. So only one person is going to be given the gig. But if that person doesn't cut it, I'm going to fire them immediately. All right. And then I'm going to go on to the next person. So here's how it'll work. All right. You're going to be rewarded on a sliding scale. All right. You're going to have an absolute maximum of 1 month to complete this project from the moment that I assign you to be the sole person. All right. But you should try to complete it as fast as you can. And based on the speed and the quality of what you deliver, I will reward you somewhere between half of a star, half of an Urbit star on the low end in the worst case scenario, and a whole star on the high end. All right. So a star is currently trading for between somewhere around $4,000 to $5,000. So to give you a benchmark, here's what I would say. I'd say if you ship what I consider to be an excellent product in 2 weeks, then you'll absolutely get 1 star. That would be stellar. That would be awesome. But if you ship like a crappy product, but it does meet the criteria, it is what I asked for, but it just is really, really super basic and crappy, then, and let's say you take the full 30 days to do it, then maybe I'm only going to give you half a star. Okay? So that's how I'm going to lay it out. And the good news for you, though, is that as long as you complete the mission in a most basic way, you will get at least half a star, which, you know, Bockwell tells me is fair for the amount of work that this should take if you're at all decent. Obviously, if you're super junior, you might have to bang your head on the desk for, you know, a while to do this. It might take you many hours. It's up to you whether or not that's worth it to you. But there are 2 exceptions where someone might not get paid, all right? So the first is if you end up being an absolute loser and you can't show me anything whatsoever after halfway through the process. If at 2 weeks you don't have anything to show for yourself whatsoever, then I reserve the right to cancel you, all right? And you'll be given nothing. And I will promptly go on to the next person on the list who wants to do this honorable and important work and treat it properly with the attention and the passion and the care that it deserves. I will cut you out in 2 weeks and I will go on to the next person. I reserve the right to do that, in which case you will not collect $200. You will not pass go. You will not move on. You will not get anything. All right. And of course, the other disqualifying situation would be if you know, at the end of 1 month, if you simply do not ship a product or whatever you do ship demonstrably fails to meet the basic criteria, then in that case, you would not be paid anything. All right. And I'm going to be strict about this. All right. This is business, baby. This is important. This is important work. Seriously, I'm not even being funny now. Like, we need people who can step up and get real shit done. Urbit's life depends on it, and Urbit could change the world if we do it correctly. So I take this very seriously. Now, assuming that you complete the mission and you do get paid, I'm then going to use your app personally, and I'm going to feature the app to my Urbit newsletter, which has like 4,000 subscribers, people on Urbit and interested in Urbit. I'll feature it on the Other Life newsletter, which has like more than 6,000 subscribers. It'll feature it on this YouTube channel, which has about 15,000 subscribers, and my Twitter, which has like 26,000 subscribers. So, you know, I'm not super big or anything, but in the Urbit world, I'm relatively big. For the creators that are super pumped on Urbit, I'm relatively big, and I'm well connected to a lot of people in the network from doing all this media stuff. So from there, whatever else you want to do with your career on Urbit, if you ship this app and you do a good job, I will do whatever I can to unlock whatever doors you want opened. All right. But honestly, I don't even think I'm going to need to personally do you any favors, because if you make this app and it's good, you're going to naturally earn a lot of respect from people in the ecosystem. Because here's why. Here's a little, dirty little secret. A lot of Urbit apps are not getting used very much. That's just a fact. And if you build this out for me, it's going to be used because I'm asking for it because I want to use it. And building useful stuff that people really use is the way to earning real respect in any domain, right? So I'm just giving you a way to do that for yourselves. And I'm guaranteeing that it's going to have an audience. I'm guaranteeing that it's going to be used because I will use it, and I will have, I will encourage other people to use it, and I will show them how to use it. So if you accept this challenge and you are prepared to accept this mission, then just DM me a few sentences on Urbit. I'm Hatrix Last Stud, and that will initiate the process. I want to see how fast we can move with all of this. No bureaucracy, no roadblocks, just action, baby. Let's go.